Hey y'all, welcome back to Zesty Thoughts with your host Annábla. This is episode 36. I hope y'all are having a wonderful day, morning, night, evening, whenever you're listening to the pod. I hope everyone has been well. If you can't already tell from my voice, I'm like slightly under the weather. I haven't had a cold like this in a while where it's just like enough to like annoy you, but not enough to like debilitate you, which is good actually, because my to-do list for the last like week, my daily to-do list has been off the rockers. I've been very busy, but in a good way. I think I'm best fueled by like keeping myself busy and productive and like doing fun things. Busy, not in the sense that like I'm just like work, but like busy as in like, oh, I want to be able to fit in my fun things that also fuel me. And if I can't fit those things in, then it just like screws everything up. So needless to say, I've been very busy. Thankfully, I'm not so under the weather right now that I can't get all my important things done. So that's good. That's a relief. Because yesterday at work, I was like, oh, I feel a little something coming. I hope it's just allergies. I woke up this morning, I was like, not just allergies, but we'll get through it. It's all good. I'm recording the pod today. I'm releasing some promotional stuff for my gigs coming up. So it is a fun-filled week. I do have another gig at the Auld in Brentwood. They have two locations, Culver City and Brentwood, but I'm playing at the Brentwood location on March 26th. It's a Wednesday. And I might have a residency there starting in April, like once a month. For those of you that don't know, I'm part of my family is like Irish, so I know a lot of like old traditional Irish folk songs. I just grew up listening to them and like going to see Irish bands play and stuff. So I'm busting out some of that material, and then I'm just playing some classic folk and like rock hits. Some of my favorite songs, just songs that I think are good songs. You feel me? So yeah, come out to that. I'm gonna put all the info in the pod bio. Follow me on Instagram and subscribe here on YouTube. You can even subscribe to my music YouTube. I'm going to link all my stuff below for those of you that are just kind of discovering me now. I have the pod, but I'm also a musician, so I have socials and like other things for my music stuff. So for those of you that are new to the pod audience and you want to get a feel for like and you want to get more of a feel for who I am as a person and what I do creatively, then I'll put all that stuff in the description. Okay. Now that we've gotten all that out of the way, I'm going to get into the pod. This week we have some updates, some interesting things to talk about. Update on my recovery. For those of you that don't know, I was hit by a car. I'm doing all right, but I'm still having lingering pain in my left knee and in my tailbone and my butt, because that was what took most of the damage. So, I'm barreling on through. I am taking anti-inflammatories that are really helping, some CBD. Thank you to Rocky and her mom for that. So I'm just doing my thing. I'm staying hydrated. I'm trying to rest a lot, make sure I get good sleep and eat well. That way my body can recover to its, fullest potential. So we're hanging in there. I have a MRI and like x-ray thing scheduled for next week. So we can see if there's anything lingering that may need further treatment or whatever. We'll see. I've been getting treatments a few times a week at a chiropractor, like massage things, like nerve stimulation stuff. So that has been helping a little bit, thankfully, but slowly on the mend. So that is good. So that's my update on my accident. I am definitely in better spirits though mentally. I've been like, because I'm able to drive like very carefully. I'm still kind of uncomfortable when I drive with my like tailbone. So I have to kind of adjust a lot. But since I'm driving, I'm like back at work and I'm prepping for gigs and stuff like that. So at least mentally, I'm like back into kind of the swing of like things that I wanted to do in the first quarter of the year. They all got kind of delayed by a month because of my recovery in the accident, but that's okay. We're still getting them done, and better late than never, right? So that's pretty much it. That's like a personal update. I'm definitely in better spirits. Okay, I have some things that I want to talk about this weekend. I had a pretty chill weekend. Also, apologies if you can hear like a lozenge in my mouth or if I'm lisping at all because I have a lozenge. I need it, y'all. I was on the cruise and we went to, what part of Mexico were we in? Cozumel. We went to this bee sanctuary and they were selling like products with their honey, and we got some like lozenges and they're delish and they're so amazing for soothing my throat, which I really need right now. So anyway, into my first segment, I wanted to rant about my experience at Din Tai Fung. This is my first time going. To preface this, Din Tai Fung's like Taiwanese cuisine, and I think they have locations like nationally. I don't know if they have any locations outside of the US, but the food is rumored to be insane. There are like TikTok trends of people going there and reviewing the food, everything I ate at Din Tai Fung, that kind of thing. And so I've just sat on my phone watching people eat this food for ages. They have other locations in LA and California. Like I could have gone before. I don't know why I waited, but basically they opened a location in Santa Monica, which is close to me. So I was like, okay, period. I'm gonna go check out the new location and grub. So I went with my parents and my godfather. We went insane with the order. So I'm gonna talk about the things that I ordered and rate all of the items. To preface, most of the ratings can be very high because everything we ordered, we were very pleased with. To start off the night, we ordered a round of the pear lychee martinis. Those were insane. If I didn't have to drive, I would have like maybe had a few more. They were so good. I would literally go there just to get like drinks and pregame, you know, 10 out of 10 for that. And I love lychee. Like, I don't know about y'all. I used to live like around the corner, like literally walking distance to like an Asian market in the valley, and I would go and buy like bags of like lychee and just like bring them to work and to campus and school and stuff, and just like peel them and eat them like at all times. So I love lychee. So that was delish. That was our bev of the night. And there are like a lot of other beverages like teas and stuff that I just didn't try. I just got that. So anyway, on to the appetizers. We did get the infamous cucumber salad. It was delicious. 10 out of 10. That was the only appetizer we got. And then we went a little bit crazy. My parents did get the pork soup dumplings. They said they were amazing, but I didn't try them. I don't eat pork. We ordered the vegan buns. Those were really good. The filling was like good. Flavor didn't quite pack as much of like a shock compared to the other things that we ordered. They were good. I love the texture of like the bun itself. I just thought the flavor was like okay. Like I don't know that I would order that again. It was fine. So I guess I would rate that maybe like a 6 out of 10. 7 out of 10 for the texture of the buns because it was so fluffy. We also ordered the string beans with garlic. Those were insane. Like insane. So like 11 out of 10. The broccoli with garlic was also really good. I guess that gets like a 9 out of 10. I just I can so appreciate like well-prepared broccoli when it's cooked right and it's like a little bit crunchy and it's just like the perfect texture. I really nod at the chef for that. 10 out of 10. Oh, okay. Next up, we ordered the vegan noodles with spicy sauce. Those were like insane. We actually ordered those like for 2 of us to split, and I could have eaten the whole thing myself. Those were ridiculous. I would 100% get those again, along with the string beans. Like ridiculous. So like 11 out of 10 for the vegan noodles. Next up on the list, we ordered, my parents got like a pork chop fried rice. I didn't have any of the pork, but I tried like a little bit of the rice and it was like good, but I wasn't really as impressed with that as I thought. A lot of people were hyping that item up online, like, or just like the fried rice in general. And it was like, fine, like it's fried rice. I don't know. The flavor wasn't like shocking to me. What was incredibly shocking to me was the hot and sour soup. We got like a vegetarian version. And I mean, I've always loved hot and sour soup to begin with, but it was ridiculous. Also, for it being like a vegetarian version, like not a pork base, it still had the same flavors. And oh my God, 10 out of 10, 11 out of 10. So I guess overall, like my favorite items would probably be the hot and sour soup, the string beans with garlic, and the vegan noodles with the spicy sauce. Those were ridiculous. Cucumber salad was good, but it didn't like shock me as much as like those other 3 items. But overall, really, really tasty food. And of course, we had to get some dessert. We did get the chocolate and mochi zhilong bao. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I'm sorry if I'm not. The XLB, as people like to call it. It's basically like a dumpling that has chocolate inside. And it's made with like mochi. And it's so freaking good. It's like insane. I did really want to try the red bean one, but I didn't think the people I was with were like a fan of red bean, and I didn't want to eat all 5 and be like a pig to myself. But next time I would really, really want to try maybe the red bean bun or the red bean like sticky rice wrap. Because I love red bean. I used to go to this like boba place slash like shaved ice place called Boba Loca. And when I was young, and we used to go, my best friend Rocky and I, and we would get their like house special, which is like a shaved ice thing, and they put like fruit on it. So they'd put like strawberry and kiwi, from what I remember, like the two main cut fresh fruits. Then they would put like fruit cocktail on it. And then red bean and boba and like condensed milk. And there were a few other things that they put on it, but like we would ask for those things off. I forget what the other things were that we were like removed, but insane, so freaking delicious. So I've always loved red bean since I was little. I know not everyone is a fan, but yeah, I mean the food was ridiculous. Like in my opinion, it's worth every penny. I unfortunately didn't try any like other dumplings, and all of the like, because I eat fish but I don't eat like any other meat, so I wanted to try some other like dumplings, like shrimp items, but all of the shrimp like dumplings had pork mixed in with it, so I couldn't like really get any like seafood. Like I couldn't get any of like the shrimp stuff. I could have gotten shrimp fried rice, but we already got the noodles, and at that point we were like, okay, we're clearly ordering with our stomach, we don't want to go overboard, and there were 4 of us, and I didn't even list all the items that were ordered like for the table, because there were other like things that were like pork items that I couldn't eat. But literally insane. I think I want to try the cabbage next time, and probably the vegan dumplings, or like there's like a vegetarian dumpling soup, I think, and just try some like other items. But the food was ridiculous, and I 100% get the hype now. So if you've never been to Din Tai Fung and you like that kind of food, like you're gonna die. Just go, and my recommendations would 100% be the cucumber salad, the string beans with garlic, and the noodles. Whether you get the vegetarian version or not, the spicy noodles or the noodles with spicy sauce were ridiculous. And then the hot and sour soup. And the hot and sour soup is like big. Like 4 of us shared, and we each had like a serving and a half of it. So 10 out of 10. Obviously, the dessert was ridiculous. So, and that pear lychee martini. So those are my overall recommendations for Din Tai Fung. I love it. I now get the hype why people like make videos and make content around it, because the food is like so freaking good. And the new Santa Monica location is so beautiful that like just go and chill and hang at the bar. Make reservations though for sure if you want to eat, because even with the reservations we had to wait like 10 minutes to like for them to seat us and like all that situation. So anyway, highly recommend it. Next up on Sunday, my mom is a pediatric nurse, and she worked at a hospital for like 25 years or something like that. But she just got a new job nearby because she was kind of getting burnt out on commuting. She's close to retiring. She's ready to kind of settle down a little bit. She worked in a hospital environment for a very long time, wanted to find something a little bit more chill. So she works at a pediatric like doctor's office basically. And one of the colleagues there, one of the doctors, has a son in Santa Monica High School, and they were doing Chicago, the musical, like the high school was putting it on. So we went on Sunday to see it, and it was the cutest thing in the world. Like, first of all, I love Chicago. It's like one of my favorite musicals ever. The movie, I remember watching that movie as a kid, just being like obsessed with it. Catherine Zeta-Jones, Renee Zellweger, just eating up every second of it. The songs are so catchy. It's like almost like one of my dream roles, low key. Other than Wicked, like being in Chicago would be fucking insane. I would shit my pants. I would literally die to be in Chicago. So my mom was like, oh, let's go see the high school performance, you know? And I was like, oh my God, I'm so down. Because obviously I did theater when I was young, and I used to be in that crowd. So it's like, okay, well, let's go see. It's not like an art. I went to an arts high school, so it's like a little bit of a different experience. I was like, well, let's go see. I'm trying not to like, go in there with judgment, but I'm like, let's compare it. See how good their theater program is compared to like an actual arts program. And they were really, really talented kids. Like, oh my gosh, it was just so adorable. And to me, it's kind of funny because Chicago's kind of like a racy musical. So I'm like, how did they like make it appropriate for high schoolers. But they definitely did. It was like not weird at all. It was so cute. Dancing was pretty good, you know. The one kid who played Billy Flynn was insane. He was definitely the standout in the whole cast, like strongest vocals. So that was just so fun. Seeing a High School Musical again, like it was just so cute. I enjoyed every second of it. Okay, next on the pod, I did want to have a little segment about St. Patrick's Day since it's coming up, and y'all know I'm Irish. I did want to talk about basically what St. Patrick's Day is about. I do have a little bit of knowledge, but I'm going to read a few little snippets online. We'll do some research together. Most of y'all know St. Patrick's Day for like its modern connotation, like drinking and corned beef. Last year for St. Patrick's Day, I hosted a brunch where I made like a traditional Irish breakfast, and we had some Irish coffees and drinks and stuff throughout the day, and it was just a really chill day. I wanted to do something other than just like go to a bar and like drink and like, you know, do that whole shebang. So I had a really fun time. I'm going to read a little bit of this Time article that discusses the history of St. Patrick's Day, because I know like the gist of it, but I'm actually a little bit curious myself on the details of like where it came from and how it evolved to what it is today, and like why it's evolved to this. You know, I get it. It's like most US holidays have been hijacked by capitalism, and have just become a way to like sell merch and products and decorations and, you know, make money. So let's see if we can dive into the history and see if there's any bits of the history of the celebration that still remain, at least in America, from my perspective as an American. So the March 17th celebration started in 1631 when the church established a feast day honoring St. Patrick. He had been a patron saint of Ireland who had died around the 5th century, a whopping 12 centuries before the modern version of the holiday was first observed. But very little is known about who he actually was. According to Marion Casey, a clinical assistant professor of Irish Studies at NYU. Wait, what? Irish Studies is a thing? A regular marcher in the St. Patrick's Day Parade in Manhattan. Wait, period. I want to go to St. Patrick's Day Parade. Okay, so Marion said, we know that he was a Roman citizen because Britain was Roman then. Okay. And then he was enslaved and taken to Ireland, where he either escaped or was released. Interesting. Apologies for the noise in the background. There's some work being done next door, some gardening. So pardon that. And then he became a priest and went back to Ireland, where he had a lot of luck converting the Druid culture into Christians. Oh, okay. That's very interesting. I knew, like, my basic understanding of it was that, like, it's celebrating, like, Christianity starting in Ireland, essentially, but I didn't understand the lore of it. The legend says St. Patrick was actually born Maewyn Succat. Not going to say that right, but he changed his name to Patricius, or Patrick, which derives from the Latin term for father figure, after he became a priest. Okay, period. That makes so much sense. Okay, father. And that supposed luck of his is the root of all the themed merchandise for modern St. Patrick's Day. So it's just about this dude's luck? Is that it? It's just based around his luck, I guess. Is that what we're supposed to be celebrating? His luck? It wasn't until the early 18th century that many of today's traditions were kicked into high gear. Since the holiday falls during Lent, it provides Christians a day off from the prescriptions of abstinence leading up to Easter. And around the 1720s, the church found it kind of got out of control, Casey says. It was to remind celebrants what the holiday actually stood for, that the church first associated a botanical item, customary for All Saints, with St. Patrick, assigning him the symbol of the likewise lucky shamrock. Oh, wait. So all the Christians were like, I can't hold out for 45 days for Lent? Really? Come on now, y'all. So that's where it came from. Crazy. Modern day celebrations and themes continue to take shape during the rest of the 1700s. In 1762, the first New York City parade took place. It wasn't until 1798, the year of the Irish Rebellion, that the color green became officially associated with the day. Up until the rebellion, the color associated with St. Patrick's Day was blue. What? As it was featured both in the royal court and on ancient Irish flags. But as the British wore red, the Irish chose to wear green, and they sang the song "The Wearing of the Green" during the rebellion, cementing the color's relevance in Irish history. God, that is such tea. Oh my gosh. I had no clue. That's like major lore. It's very interesting. If there's one thing the Irish are going to be, it is rebellious towards England. That's for sure. Towards Britain. As for the green beer, that's an even later addition. In fact, it wasn't until the late 20th century that Ireland repealed a law that initially kept everything, pubs included, shut down for the day. Oh, they repealed it? So now everything is business as usual, I guess. Since then, thanks to a marketing push from Budweiser, the American company, see, that's where I was talking, capitalism, okay. In the 1980s, downing beer has become a common way to celebrate, regardless of how closely it's tied to the actual meaning of St. Patrick himself, which clearly it is not. That's very clear from that. So, like I said, it's always going to take an American capitalist kind of business marketing bullshit to screw up the real meaning of St. Patrick's Day. So I don't know, it's interesting. I'm reading some other things on history.com, and it did say that St. Patrick was kidnapped and brought to Ireland as a slave at the age of 16. He escaped but then returned to Ireland and was credited with bringing Christianity to its people. So that was kind of my initial understanding of it. So basically, if you are Irish and you're Christian, St. Patrick's Day should be more of like a faithful celebration, almost like a Thanksgiving for the Irish people, or like descendants of Irish, that they got to have access to Christianity, I guess. I don't know, or that it was even brought to Ireland to begin with. And I guess if you care about that, then that should be the way that it is celebrated, and not like binge drinking and wearing green, because that really has nothing to do with it. It's so interesting. It's so funny. That definitely gives me like a very different perspective on St. Patrick's Day and like ways that I can celebrate it. To me, it's almost like a Thanksgiving type of holiday, where it's like you should be celebrating happiness and peace and faith and like that kind of thing. But I guess to people that aren't like Irish or people that aren't like Christian, like that meaning of the holiday, like it doesn't hold any weight for you. So I get just like celebrating Irish culture and like Irish food and whatever. I guess it's like fun to just join in on that celebration. But it definitely puts things into perspective for me, that I think I'm going to look at it as more of a day of like Thanksgiving than anything else, and just appreciate Irish independence and Irish heritage and Irish pride, if that makes sense. And I think that resonates with me a little bit more than anything else. So yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. Comment down below what y'all think about St. Patrick's Day, what y'all think about the Irish people. All right, everybody, that is going to wrap it up for today's episode. I hope that you have a wonderful week and weekend and a super, super fun St. Patrick's Day, however you choose to celebrate and whatever that means to you. And be safe, and I will see you next week. Bye.